Hey Lions fans! Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are keeping an eye on the opportunities, looking for reinforcements for the Lions. These potential changes to the team could mean a lot of things, so let's take a closer look at who it could be and how he can help the team moving forward. To stay in the know, be sure to hit that like button and join this fan community. We have some important updates today, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. So tell me, what positions do the Lions need to bolster? Let's talk about it. Alright, let's get started. So, we've all been talking about how the Lions are probably looking to trade for an edge rusher, right? That's been the main conversation leading up to the trade deadline. But here's where things get wild. Now, the Detroit Lions are being mentioned in trade rumors for Rams All-Pro wide receiver Cooper Kupp. Yes, you heard that right, Cooper Kupp. According to a report from The Athletic, the Rams have been making calls to see if there's any interest in trading for Kupp. And honestly, it wouldn't be shocking if the Lions were one of the teams they reached out to. Remember, Rams GM Les Snead has close ties to our own Brad Holmes and Ray Agnew, so the connections are definitely there. Plus, let's not forget that Jameson Williams' suspension may be on everyone's minds. It's easy to see why a move for someone like Kupp would be tempting, especially for a Lions team looking to make a serious playoff run. That said, sportsbetting.ag actually listed the Lions as one of the favorites to land Kupp in a potential trade, right behind the Steelers. Now, let's talk about what a trade like this might look like. Much like when the Raiders traded Davante Adams, the Rams reportedly want a second-round pick for Kupp. But here's the problem, they probably won't get it. As good as Kupp was in 2021, he's been battling injuries ever since, missing 17 games over the past 3 seasons. That's a big problem. But wait! There's a twist here that makes this whole situation a little more interesting. Cooper Kupp and Jared Goff already have great chemistry. If you remember their time together with the Rams, Goff and Kupp were a lethal combination. And while Kupp has had trouble staying healthy, his contract is relatively affordable. So it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. If the Lions were to make a deal like this, here's what I think it should look like. Lions receive Cooper Kupp. Rams receive a conditional 4th-round pick in 2026. But here's the catch, if Kupp can stay healthy and meet certain injury criteria, that pick becomes a 3rd-round pick. This way, the Lions protect themselves if Kupp's injury issues continue, but the Rams still get something close to what they're asking for if things work out. It's a fair deal and minimizes the risk for Detroit. Now, before we get too excited, let's be realistic for a second. As exciting as this idea is, there are a few reasons why a Kupp trade might not make sense for the Lions right now. First, we already have one of the best slot receivers in the league, so Kupp wouldn't necessarily fill a position of need. Yes, Kupp can also play outside, but that's not where he's at his best. And with guys like Jameson Williams and Tim Patrick having solid years, do we really need to shake things up at wide receiver? It's hard to see the Lions going all in on this move, especially with our focus on shoring up the defense, specifically finding a replacement for Aiden Hutchinson. But hey, this is the NFL, we all know anything can happen. So what do you think, Lions fans? Should we make a serious play for Cooper Kupp, or do you think we should stay focused on shoring up the pass rush and addressing our defensive needs? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Now, David Montgomery gave us a scare during Sunday's game against the Minnesota Vikings. Late in the first quarter, Montgomery took a hit at the line of scrimmage and lay on the field, holding his leg after a group of Vikings defenders fell on him. It looked bad. He limped off with the help of the trainers, favoring his left leg. At that moment, Lions fans, we all held our breath, especially with the scoreboard showing 10-0 to the Vikings. The Lions quickly announced that Montgomery was questionable to return with a knee injury, and you could see him on the sidelines pedaling on the exercise bike, trying to get himself back into action. Thankfully, shortly after, Montgomery returned to the game and even stepped up to block Jared Goff, who connected with Amon-Ra St. Brown for a touchdown, giving the Lions a 14-10 lead. Now that's what we call resilience. Fox sideline reporter Pam Oliver caught Montgomery giving the coaches a thumbs up as Jahmyr Gibbs was running for the Lions' touchdown. It's clear Montgomery was determined to stay in the game and support his team. Now, let's talk about replacements in case Montgomery has to take a step back. He's been our leading rusher this season, with 351 yards and 6 touchdowns in just 5 games. If Montgomery has to sit out, you can expect Jahmyr Gibbs to take over in the backfield. And don't forget about Craig Reynolds and rookie Sione Vaki, they'll be stepping up, too. Gibbs already made a statement in the second quarter with a 45-yard burst down the right side, cutting the Vikings' lead to 10-7. That play showed just how deep our backfield is. But here's the real concern, the injuries are piling up for the Lions. Last week, we lost Aiden Hutchinson to a broken leg, and we're already without Marcus Davenport and Derek Barnes for the season. Additionally, Kevin Zeitler missed the Vikings game with a hip injury, and his backup, Keota Wasaka, was hit with 3 penalties in the first quarter alone. It's been a tough stretch, but we all know the Lions have the depth and grit to keep pushing forward. So, Lions fans, what do you think? Should we be concerned about Montgomery's injury, or do you believe Gibbs and the rest of the team have what it takes to keep the offense rolling? Okay, let's talk about something special. For the 4th week in a row, the Detroit Lions have had a player win NFC Player of the Week. That's right, 4 games in a row. That team is kicker Jake Bates, who hit the game-winning 44-yard field goal to beat the Vikings in Week 7, earning NFC Special Teams Player of the Week honors. Now, let's rewind a bit. In Week 3, after our game against the Arizona Cardinals, it was Jack Fox who took home NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Then, in Week 4, Jared Goff lit up the Seattle Seahawks to win NFC Offensive Player of the Week. After the bye, Brian Branch put on a show against the Cowboys, forcing 3 turnovers to claim NFC Defensive Player of the Week honors in Week 6. And now, it's Bates' time to shine. Let's talk about Bates for a second. After a somewhat shaky training camp, he's been nothing short of sensational in the regular season. In 6 games, he's made all 10 of his field goals and hit 20 of his 21 extra points. Not bad for a guy who had some skeptics in the offseason, right? Against the Vikings, the Lions could have pushed for a touchdown late in the game, but once they got within field goal range, they trusted Bates to pull it off. And he didn't disappoint. Head coach Dan Campbell praised Bates' growing confidence, saying, "We feel like his confidence has grown. He can go out there and make the kick." He did that. I'm really proud of him. The pressure was on, the stadium was loud, but Bates got the ball out and even gave us that viral celebratory dance afterward. The team surrounded him as we celebrated yet another win, and Lions fans, we have to feel good about where we're headed. So here's the big question. Who will be the next Lion to take home Player of the Week honors in Week 8? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to know who you think will be next. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with the latest Lions news. Let's keep this momentum going. Go Lions!